Hello everybody, ArashiYT here, your coach of the Martini Eiscues, bringing you the draft analysis for the BBL Season 4 Minors League. Now if you've been a part on this channel for quite a while, you know that I was also a part of the BBL back in Season 2 and Season 3. But this season we have to take a step back from the Majors League and we are now a part of the Minors League. This due the results that I had in the BBL Season 2 and Season 3. So we have to take a step back in the Minors League, a division lower, but this gives us an opportunity to play against new people and gives us an opportunity to maybe aim a little bit higher than the previous season. So my goal for this season is to at least get in the top 6 of this league. Now, before we actually going to go into the draft itself, I of course want to explain what this season is going to be all about. Because the BBL is an Ubers League, but now you're probably wondering, hey, is the Ubers League kinda relevant because of the Dex cut, and a lot of Ubers have been cut out from Pokemon Sword and Shield? Yes, that's why this season both leagues, both the majors of the BBL and the minors, where we are a part of, are going to play our matches on Pokemon Showdown. Now this kinda sucks because I know a lot of you guys probably are very hyped to see like an Ubers League on Wi-Fi, but this also gives us the opportunity to maybe bring back live commentary for this season. So be hyped for that. I'm going to try my hardest to bring live commentary back when we are going to play our matches for this league on Pokemon Showdown. So now you know that this league will be on Pokemon Showdown. So let's go by the rules for this league and then we will dive into the draft itself. So this is an Ubers League and we had a total points of 120 points to spend on our Pokemon for a team of 10 to 12 Pokemon. And including those 120 points, we had 41 points for Ubers. And the Uber tier started at the 19 points. So everything from 19 points and above were Ubers. So you had a 41 points to spare from your 120 points to spend on Ubers. So what are the rules together with that? Well, we have no speed pass, obviously. We have Mega Evolution here, so we can draft a Mega Pokemon. Dynamax, Gigantamax, and C moves all are banned, so you won't see any C moves or Dynamax shenanigans in this league. National Dex, so also Pokemon that were cut from the Dex besides the Ubers itself can be used in this league. So for instance, I have a lot of Pokemon that weren't in Pokemon Sword and Shield, but we are going to use them in this league, which is very exciting. And unreleased abilities such as Libero Cinderace or like Reshitrain Rillaboom are allowed, including also the moves from previous generations. So you will see like hidden power in this league. I think with that we covered up all the important rules for this season, for the BBL Season 4 in the Minors League. And you also have like 5 free agency picks and, you know, free agency picks and that kind of stuff. But most of the time I like to play with my team up until the end of the season and only use like trades or free agent picks if I absolutely need them. So with that being all said, I will make sure I will put like a timestamp at the beginning of the video and in the description below if people just want to see like the draft itself and not all the rules shenanigans. But let's just dive into the draft for the Martini Eiscues itself. And I'm very hyped for this team. This team is going to be very, very hyped to use. But yeah, with that being said, let's just go to our first pick for this season, and that is going to be Darkrai. Now, I wanted to use Darkrai in Season 3 of the BBL, but I picked Yveltal instead because at that time I thought Yveltal would fit my playstyle a lot more. I'm a very hyper-offensive coach and I like to use hyper-offensive mon, or just offensive mon in general. And Darkrai also fits that criteria. 135 special attack, 125 speed, and just a big variety of a move pool to use from. Like it gets so many hard hitting moves. And his ability, Bad Dreams, for you guys who don't know, causes sleeping adjusted foe to lose 1/8 of their max HP at the end of each turn. We could maybe fool around with that. Now, I know what you're thinking, like, hey, Arashi, is Dark Void not nerfed after Generation 7? And if we go to see that, yeah, Dark Void has an accuracy of 50%. But you can use that, or Hypnosis, and then maybe put, like, Blunder Policy on this thing. And you will raise your speed by +2. And if that happens, Darkrai could potentially sweep endgame. Like, this is like an example of like a moveset that I could be using this season. I'm a very experimental coach. I like to try out stuff out that you don't see that very often or not at all, and hope to make it work in Draft League format. But this is like an exception that I can use Darkrai with. I can also just like put a choice packs on this thing and just try to hit hard on the offensive side. But I'm very excited to use Darkrai. It's a Pokemon that I really wanted to use in the previous seasons, especially Season 3 as I mentioned before. And now we're actually going to use Darkrai. And I hope it can actually put in a lot of hard work and maybe get like a lot of kills for this season. Now my next pick, which is the second Uber's pick, Darkrai was the first one with 19 points. The second and last Uber pick for me is Blaziken with Speed Boost. This thing is so amazing, and I'm also very happy that I can finally use it. I have put Protect on there just so that I can be like, hey, Speed Boost. I just have to click one Protect, we get +1 in speed, and Blaziken is 80 base power in speed. Just isn't that kind of a big deal. Because of the Speed Boost, this Pokemon, again, can just like as Darkrai, it can perhaps sweep in the end. It can put a lot of pressure on my opponent's side, and it's a very, very great fire type to have. Like Infernape is great, but I think with Blaziken's Speed Boost, it can actually put in quite a lot of work. And I'm very, very happy with the speed tiers that I drafted this season, because from these two first picks alone, you can actually see like, damn, that's already quite a massive speed tier for what you drafted. But I also drafted some like mid tier in terms of speed, and even some slow mons. Like if my opponent wants to bring Trick Room, I can hopefully work around with that. But I'm very happy to have Blaziken and Darkrai as my Ubers mon. Both are very offensive, and I think that's just fitting my playstyle a lot. And I think Darkrai could even be more fitting for me than Yveltal, but let's just wait and see what the season is going to bring us. Next up, we have a pick that really doesn't, you know, need an explanation. We got Suicune for 13 points. Suicune is an amazing Pokemon. I've sweeped with Suicune in the past. Check out PMC Season 6 if I'm not mistaken, back when I was still the Groning and Noctiles. One of those matches, you can probably notice it from the thumbnail or title in one of those matches. But I sweeped with Suicune. I 6-0'd somebody with Suicune. But Suicune is just such an amazing Pokemon. It's such versatile, amazing defensive bulk there, but also the opportunity to Scald, crit somebody, burn somebody, put up the substitute Calm Mind, and then try to wreak havoc. Suicune doesn't need an explanation. It's just an amazing Pokemon to use in Draft League format, and I'm very happy that we have an opportunity to use Suicune again. Next up, also a mod that really doesn't need an explanation. We got Zapdos. Now Zapdos, also a lot of bulk there, but also, again, special attack 100 to 25, speed 100. Zapdos I've used in the past. I don't know if I've used it like in a Draft League where I've, you know, uploaded on YouTube. I might have used it in the past, but I can't remember on the top of my head. I do remember it using though, and Zapdos is just an amazing Pokemon. Two amazing abilities: Pressure to try to PP style maybe, or like Static if somebody wants to make contact, get the Paralyzation and try to work around with that. It has like a pretty good move pool. It gets us an ability to defog. We could potentially Baton Pass, because as I mentioned before, Baton Pass is allowed, but just no speed passing. Hidden powers are in this league, so we can still use like hidden power to try to work around with that. It gets like, as I mentioned before, a lot of coverage moves. It gets Roost, it gets Thunder Wave, it gets Whirlwind. It gets like a lot of moves that could potentially help out the team. And Zapdos, just like Suicune, doesn't really need an explanation. And I'm very happy that we have Zapdos in our team. And now, you know, Darkrai, Blaziken, Suicune, Zapdos, the team is already looking like mwah. But then we have our Mega, because Megas are allowed in this league. So we drafted Mega Maywell. Now I'm very, very happy with this. Mega Maywell is a Pokemon that I wanted to use for quite a long while. But most of the time, like when I drafted, I didn't need it at that point. And I already had a Mega in the past. Now we have Mega Maywell here. Again, a very hyper offensive Pokemon with a huge power and that attack of 105. Also, like, the defense, a bulk is there, a Steel Fairy type that works around very well with the Pokemons that we drafted earlier with Darkrai and Blaziken. And then, like, yeah, it just, if we have an opportunity with Mega Maywell, we can actually hit like a truck and we can actually do some damage with this thing in this league. And I'm very happy that we drafted this Pokemon. And like, as I mentioned before, it's not a fast Pokemon, but because we already drafted a lot of fast Pokemon, we have Mega Maywell to actually balance it all out. So Mega Maywell is here, 17 points, very happy with that. Now the next pick is a Pokemon that I really didn't want to draft at first, but because one of the options that I wanted to draft, which was Nidoqueen, got taken away, I had to draft this mon just because I think it fits my team, but at the same time I can't let any of my opponents use this Pokemon. And that's going to be Hippowdon for 13 points. Now Hippowdon is an amazing Pokemon defensive wise. It also has some attack with that 112 attack stat. But Hippowdon mostly is here to take some hits, to put up the Stealth Rocks, the ground type coverage that we needed. And like Sandstream, we could like use the Sandstream. We could also, you know, use Sand Force and then like run Sand Storm itself on Hippowdon. But with Sand, like I drafted Mega Maywell, I drafted like, okay, I have a good Steel type right now. Alright, I need a good ground type. Nidoqueen was taken away. I saw Hippowdon still was available. And yeah, we have Hippowdon now, and I hope it can actually do a lot of work. But as mentioned before, it's there to take the hits. It's there to potentially put up the Stealth Rocks. It's there, I think it gets Whirlwind, right? This Pokemon gets Whirlwind. Yeah, we could potentially like put Whirlwind on this thing and try to Whirlwind my opponents away if they try to set up. So let's see if Hippowdon can actually work around with this team. But it was not my first pick in terms of ground type coverage. Now, next Pokemon that we have is Mushara. Again, not a very fast Pokemon. The slowest Pokemon in this draft, if I'm not mistaken. But Mushara, also here to take up some hits. I really also pick up a good balance between offensive mons, but mons that can take a hit. And Mushara is one of those Pokemon that can take a hit with that 85 defense, 95 special defense, and of course that 116 HP. And I haven't used Mushara at all, never in the past, never in the draft league, but I saw the opportunity to take it. Again, a Baton Pass user, we can try to set up the Calm Minds, Baton Pass maybe into Darkrai, Healing Wish. Mushara is probably going to be much of a cleric for this team, trying to Healing Wish. It doesn't get Wish itself, right? I thought it got Wish itself. No, it doesn't get Wish. But like Healing Wish, it gets like Heal Bell. So this Pokemon is more of a cleric. I know I can also try to maybe surprise my opponent with an offensive Mushara set. But Mushara, again, just like Hippowdon, is here to take some hits, potentially Healing Wish, potentially Heal Bell, and try to be the cleric for this team. Now for my next pick, I needed a rapid spinner, and I needed a rapid spinner that can also, like, perhaps take like toxic spikes. I like Pokemon that can, you know, work really well as a rapid spinner. So I saw a Pokemon for 5 points, and I thought, you know what? Let's use this Pokemon. Let's use this Pokemon and see if it works out. And that's Kamala. Now Kamala, like, yeah, basically what I said, what you expect. It's a rapid spinner. It rapid spins away. It gets like very good. It gets Wood Hammer, right? It gets Wood Hammer. It has a very good move pool in terms of physical attacking hits. But most of the time, you would see like rapid spin on this thing to try to rapid spin away. Now, rapid spin did get a boost that it gets a +1 in speed. Now, Kamala's speed stat of 65 isn't that of something to write home about. But after +1, maybe it can actually do some work. Plus, with the Comatose ability, this Pokemon can't get poisoned. So if this Pokemon gets in on toxic spikes, then you can easily rapid spin those toxic spikes away. Which is huge, which is absolutely huge. And then with the rapid spin, again, +1 speed boost, Kamala could actually become a huge surprise for this team. And I hope I can actually make it a good surprise, because I wanted to use Kamala in the past. And now with the +1 for rapid spin, me needing a rapid spinner in general, I thought, you know what? Let's go for Kamala. I wanted to try out something new this season. Use a lot of Pokemon that I haven't used before as well. That's why I didn't draft a Torkoal. I didn't draft Maractus. I want to start out fresh with this generation, with this new season, with this new year as a draft league coach. I'm now the Martini Eiscues. I'm not the Groningen Noctiles anymore. So I want to try out something new. But I think Kamala, for normal type, for its variety of move pool in terms of physical attacks, it having rapid spin, it having Comatose, I think Kamala can actually put in a lot of work. And I hope that I can make Kamala like a big surprise for this season in the BBL. Now for my next Pokemon, also 5 points, we have Hunter. I really needed a Ghost type, and I actually drafted 2 Ghost type. The second one I will talk in a moment. But I thought, Hunter, it gets Levitate, it gives us also a Poison type, because, as I mentioned before, I wanted to draft Nidoqueen, and that would have covered my Poison typing as well. And I thought, you know what? Hunter's speed is not that bad. Its special attack, again, amazing. Defensive-wise, it's not that great, but, again, Levitate can get hit by ground-type moves, unless their name is like Mold Break, Excadrill or something. And yeah, Hunter is like, I actually like Hunter more than Gengar, true fact. And it gets like also a good variety of a move pool. It gets like Giga Drain to get recovery back. It gets Destiny Bond if you want to be cheeky. It gets Dazzling Gleam. It gets Shadow Ball. It gets Pain Split. It gets Sludge Bomb. It gets Thunderbolt. It gets Trick Room. There you go. Hunter could be the Trick Room user to boost up that Mushara and Kamala. But all jokes aside, I really like Hunter. As I mentioned before, I like Hunter more than Gengar. And I saw it in the 5 points there. And I did my calculation, and I was like, okay, if I wanted to draft this mon, and I win this mon, there's room for Hunter. And I was like, alright, Hunter is here, and let's make the most of it. And as mentioned before, I have drafted another Ghost type, and we needed the Dragon type, so we drafted Dracloak for 2 points. I don't know what I can expect from this mon. I don't think Eviolite would work well with this mon. But like Choice Scarf, Choice Specs, Choice Bandit maybe, Life Orb, it has like a lot of good moves. It doesn't get Dragon Darts because that's like the move that is for Dragapult. But you know, this Pokemon, it does get Dragon Dance, so I could try to set up. It has the moves that a normal Dragon type would have to hit hard, so Dragon Meteor. It has like Dragon Pulse, it gets Dragon Tail. It has Shadow Ball. It has like also Thunder Wave. It has a lot of, you know, again, coverage. And I don't know what to expect from this Pokemon, but I really needed a Dragon type. And I was like, you know what, let's use Dracloak. Let's use the middle evolution of Dragapult. And come on, just look at this guy. He has like, oh, what was the name of the first one? Baby Drago. Baby Drago has like, he has them all in his head. It's so cute. But yeah, ability-wise, Clear Body could be fun. Infiltrator could be fun. Cursed Body could be cheeky. And we'll see if this Pokemon can actually put in a lot of work. Now, for the last Pokemon, there we go. If you follow me on Twitter, by the way, if you want to do that, you can go into the description below and go to twitter.com/SuperSunaArashi to follow me on Twitter for all your latest updates on my YouTube channel or my regular life or like sports, if you like that. I put out a poll on Twitter. Like, hey, I want to use like a Pokemon from Johto. So which Pokemon, which of these 4 Johto Pokemon should I use? And I got a lot of votes of that, 25 votes of something. And I got like Stantler, Giraffaric, Sudowoodo, and Jumpluff. Now, if you've already noticed from this draft, you notice that we do miss a grass type. Luckily enough, the winner of that poll on Twitter was Jumpluff. We have Jumpluff in this team. I know a lot of people are going to be like, really? Why use this ball of fur? Just use Eldegoss. It's 10 times better as Jumpluff. No. Jumpluff is going to put in a lot of work. I've shown it in the past. Torkoal, Maractus, back in Generation 6, 7, and before, Magnezone, Roserade. I turned trash into gold. And Jumpluff, at the end of this season, will be gold. Now the only downside of Jumpluff is, and I don't know why, this thing doesn't get defog. Which sucks, because if this thing has like if this thing had defog, this thing would be even more amazing than it already is. But it gets aromatherapy. So if I don't want to use Mushara and I want to use Jumpluff instead, bang! We got aromatherapy. It gets Encore. It has a lot of cleric type moves. Its speed stat is 110. I don't know, I don't say I will, but I could. Baton Pass, like with a Pokemon. Like I think it was like Zapdos who got Baton Pass. Maybe I will Calm Mind it up. Maybe I will be like, hey, oh, well, it doesn't get Calm Mind. How does this thing doesn't get Calm Mind? Either way, either way, I just played myself. Either way, this thing is gonna be gold. This thing, I'm gonna try my hardest. Like every season in a draft, it gets Strength Sap. Boom! We don't need anything else. This thing gets Strength Sap. Did I just did a dab in 2020? Yes, I did, and I don't care. It gets Sleep Powder. It gets Leech Seed. It gets Toxic. This thing, I'm gonna make it work. You'll see. You'll see. I'm gonna make it work. You'll see. But that concludes this draft for the Martini Eiscues for the BBL Season 4 Minors League. 120 points all across the board spent on this team. Darkrai, Blaziken with Speed Boost, Suicune, Zapdos, Mega Maywell, Powderon, Mushara, Kamala, Hunter, Dracloak, and Jumpluff. I'm very excited for this league. We're going to play against a lot of new people. We're going to play against some old people as well. And the league itself, by the time I'm recording this, the league itself will start in like 2 weeks. Like in two weeks? 1.5 weeks, 2 weeks. So it might take a while before week 1 is going to be uploaded. But I wanted to put out the draft analysis beforehand because, you know, we have the opportunity to do that because this is not an upload required league. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. I should have done that in the beginning. But this is not an upload required league. but I will try my hardest to get all of the matches up on my YouTube channel, because I was a part of BBL Season 2, BBL Season 3, so I want to keep on following that trend and also upload all of my matches for Season 4. I will try to do my best to also do it with live commentary, so that I can bring back live commentary on the channel back in terms of Draft League, and I haven't done that before since the FBL Season 2. I've did it before PMC, like in an off-time thing, but last time that we did live commentary, it was like FBL Season 2 or something like that. So I want to bring that back as well. And yeah, again, if you have any comments of this team, if you have any comments or suggestions what I should do in this season, let me know in the comment section below. Again, the first match will be in about 2 weeks. So be hyped for that. I will try to put out more Showdown live sessions and other stuff on the channel in between those, so that the channel is still alive and such. But if you're hyped for the BBL Season 4, let me know in the comment section below. Leave a like, comment, share this video with others, slash the subscribe button down below, and hit that bell icon, because then you get notified every time I upload a new video, and that is sincerely appreciated. I'm going to end this video here because I tried like 4 or 5 times already to record this video, and every time something happens, so I'm very happy that I nailed it now and I can finally take some rest. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!